College football Saturday. What's up, everybody? Labor Day weekend. How's everybody doing this morning? 10 a.m. We're locked and loaded for the official start of the football season. No knock on the guys from last week or even last night. There was a lot of games for a Friday night like that. But today is the big day. Today's, we got the national powers going head to head. Teams like Clemson and LSU, Ohio State, and Texas, of course. We'll pop this up on the screen here 1 second. We're going to cover a lot of things. It won't just be college football. Obviously, hot topic, Micah Parsons from the Cowboys to the Packers. Obviously, football's back. How Micah Parsons going to the Green Bay Packers kind of reshapes the NFC North. NFL, which NFL coaches are on the hot seat and who might go and who might, just not make it even the whole season. NFL Rookie of the Year winner. I only have 3 up there on the picture, but there's many more to choose from. We'll talk about that. We left that open, to be determined for breaking news. We're going to cover a little bit about Lee Corso and this being his final college football Saturday, as well as the Dave Portnoy dilemma, or, I don't even know what you want to call it, with Ohio State supposedly banning him, not banning him, etc. But before we get into all of that, I got PB for 3 here. So first of all, pretty excited. I got confirmation from a former NFL quarterback yesterday that he will be coming up on the show. I can't say who it is yet, and I can't say when it is, but we're discussing that, and we will work that out. He was a longtime NFL quarterback. He was on ESPN for quite some time. He was on other outlets as a broadcaster for some time, and I look forward to that. I grew up watching him, and I think that we'll have a great conversation, especially with Luke in the picture, with Luke playing quarterback at an all-state level through high school and then through college. I think it's a great idea to have this gentleman on, and we look forward to talking about that here very soon. All right, so today, PB Picks, which experimented with it last year. I've always been in and around, the hobby of sports betting long before it ever came on a national scene in 18 or 19, whenever the law passed, before online gambling came up big. So I messed around with it last year, and I had enormous success. And I thought, let me just try this out and see how it works. Well, it went really well. Hit 17 in a row. Hit 15 in a row, 3 very large parlays, a 5, a 6, and an 8. 5, 6, and an 8. Many athlete and sport outcome predictions, such as Shedeur Sanders. We're the only outlet in the world that picked Shedeur Sanders to be drafted in the 5th round. There's many others like Jaden Daniels and the 2024 draft. Picked him to be far and away the best quarterback of the draft. Sure, there's still some time to determine Caleb Williams and Drake May, and I had J.J. McCarthy as the 1B to Jaden Daniels, and I think he's going to be awesome, terrific. There's so much talk about he's not going to be this, and we'll talk about that another day, but so many picks on record. Jackson Dart to be this year's best quarterback. So maybe it's my coach's background. I don't know. Been involved in sports since a very young age. Just had the ability to anticipate and see things that maybe some others won't, that won't or don't see. Not going to be right every time. None of this is guaranteed. It is for entertainment purposes only, but do have a pretty good track record in there. And I really don't play anymore, if I'm being totally honest with you. I really don't get into it too much from a player's point of view. Yeah, if it's a big game or something like that, maybe, but the emotion is removed. I don't get tied up into it with the emotions. That it allows me to see it more clearly. If there's no skin in the game and there's no preconceived notions or bias, then I'm able to give it to folks in a way that is more emotion-free, and I'm seeing it clearly, and I can deliver it for you guys. And then I actually watch the game, follow the game, whatever it is, and I'm on pins and needles because I put my name behind it. And it recommended that to you. And, you start a 1-day access at $39, 7-day at $75, 14-day at $125, 30-day or 60-day at $225 or $395, respectively. I take that very seriously. That's your money, and you're giving your faith into me. And again, I'm not going to win everyone, and I may win 5, 6, 7 in a row, and I may lose a few in a row. But over the long haul, every sports handicapper, and I don't even call myself that. I really and truly, honestly, I don't, I'm a capper and I'm all this type of stuff. Yes, the website has capper in it, but I don't really consider that. I'm just a predictor of sports, and sports outcomes is kind of how I like to look at it. And the actual result of the game happens to be part of it. One of the things that you can expect from us and from me, heavy NFL props. In the 15 and 17 in a row from last year, that was a big part of it. College is a little bit more difficult to do. Quarterbacks, as an example, on rushing yards, it gets deducted. On sacks, there's a lot of things to take into consideration there. College, you'll see more of the straight picks on a side, money line, or the point side, the total, or a parlay. Pros, you will see all of those, and you will see a lot of props, a lot. And generally, we're looking to get those props that are over in the first quarter or first half. Some got to go through 3 or 4 quarters to get it, but we're looking to win it sooner. Not necessarily ladder picks, although there are some of those at some points where you can take the lower number and jump over it at lesser odds. But you'll see it run the full gamut. Right now, at this time, at 10:05, 10:07, whatever it is, pbsportstalk.cappertech.com. You'll see all these packages up there. If you get the one-day access package, there are 3 picks up there that you will see immediately once you purchase. A little bit later, many more, up to 7 will be on there. So many more, meaning 4 more picks will be up there. They are later games, but the first pick in there is the big noon kickoff between Ohio State and Texas. That game is up there. I feel very strong about the outcome of this game. It's a tough game to pick. It's not like it's easy. First game of the year, there are unknowns. There are so much in the portal, so much in the NIL, so much transferring graduates. There's so many things factored in. So it can always be like a little bit of a rough start, but I feel really confident about this, as I will for the rest of the games. Been extra cautious this year because of the movement and so many guys moving around. Last night, we gave you the free pick winner of Georgia Tech over Colorado. Colorado obviously lost a lot of players. Caden Salter, nice quarterback out of Liberty that transferred over. But we felt with Kings coming back that he would have a great game. We emphasized that, and boy, he went wild. So excited that we delivered that for you, and we look forward to delivering more for you today. So pbsportstalk.cappertech.com. Get your package today. Try it out for a day. Maybe you want to do a week. There will be a separate pick or two tomorrow, right? Notre Dame and Miami play tomorrow, which is kind of crazy. Sunday, right? They're going to take that football slot, Sunday football slot from the NFL before next week's game. So look forward to getting you up there. pbsportstalk.cappertech.com. All right, Luke. So Micah Parsons went from Dallas to Green Bay. So I've been up on social. I was actually driving. It was pouring rain in Florida. I wanted to pull over, but I couldn't pull over because traffic was too. So I stopped at a light. I put the phone on. I said, I'm going to do a minute clip, and I'm going to keep my eyes on the road. I don't recommend that to anybody, but I'm going to keep my eyes on the road as best possible. I got to drop this 1-minute clip. My take, and then I really want to get yours. And folks, I haven't even gotten Luke's take on this week. We like to let it be fresh. We do just a slight amount of show prep, and then we keep it fresh because we want to be surprised ourselves, like we hope you are. It's not all scripted. So I think this was a debacle by the Dallas Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones is long past any prime he ever was in. And I would submit to you that his ownership of the Dallas Cowboys was represented by Jimmy Johnson. If he didn't have Jimmy Johnson, he'd be 0-for, as in 0-for-3 without a Super Bowl. Barry Switzer came in, he took the roster and such, which you can say, oh, Jerry Jones was always been the GM and he built that team. held to the no. That was Jimmy Johnson back in the day. And he was obviously former Arkansas teammates with Jerry. And ever since then, it's been, let's just call it what it is, a shit show. It's the most valuable franchise in the NFL. It's Jerry's world. He built the first big stadium like that. And, you know, high-profile Dallas Cowboys, which, by the way, were high-profile before he ever got there. I mean, Cowboys and Steelers for how many years? Guys like Randy White, Tony Dorsett, that's before Jerry Jones. So, in my opinion, and I put this up on X, Luke, Micah Parsons, I was blessed to grow up and watch what I believe to be one of the two greatest defensive players in the history of football, LT and Reggie White. Now, Reggie White, one of one. LT, basically one of one. Two different types of styles. Reggie more the power, very fast and quick, get to the quarterback in short spaces. LT was, and I put this up on X, power, speed, and pursuit. He could run sideline to sideline. Reggie would run you down from about 8-10 yards at max and super fast for his size. But LT was able to get across the field both sides. Micah Parsons, in my opinion, there's been a lot of great guys. I don't want to take away from a lot of other guys that can be in that conversation, but Micah is just a specimen and a species all to himself. He's 26 years old. You didn't find a way to keep this guy on your roster. And I don't even think it was about the money, Luke. I really don't think it was some of it, but I don't think all of it. The determining difference was about $7 million per year, 47 versus 40. And if you saw Micah Parsons jump around in his house when it was announced, and he was all excited to go to Green Bay, go Pack go, he was screaming, he was excited. I don't think that was about the money. I think that was about being free. I think that was about being able to go play for a world-class franchise. And I'm a Detroit Lions guy, and that's not easy for me to say. But I'm not going to be like another network, like a lot of other networks, and play homerism. I am a Lions guy through and through. I will have been my entire life. I will be the rest of my life. But that doesn't change the fact that Green Bay made an impressive move. They go to salary cap hell. You could say they're going for it, but you got to give them some credit for doing and figuring out a way to do what they did. They got better. Somebody said to me, how are they better? What do you mean, how are they better? I didn't say they were better than the Lions. I said they're better today than they were 2 days ago. That's my point. And you gave up 2 firsts, right, Luke? But they're essentially 2s, because Green Bay's not finishing like, with the 15th or the 12th or the 8th pick. They're going to be near the end of the draft. And so, yeah, you could use those, and it depends on who's picking them too, by the way. So I'm a big believer that Dallas screwed this up. Jerry Jones and his archaic shake hands ways, it doesn't work. Adapt, dude. You're 83. Get your ass out of there. Get your son Steven out of there, and let football people run your organization, and let the remaining years, let them be a success. Get rid of your power hungry mode. And last thought before I turn it over to you, Luke, he gets up at a press conference and he makes it worse by calling Micah Michael. Like, how many times? That's one thing. Okay, we all make mistakes. I said Travion Miller last week or 2 weeks ago instead of Travion Henderson. We can misspeak, but he's up there trying to be a salesman, folks, and it's a snake oil salesman. He's trying to sell Dallas and the fans that they're better. I understand the money, and you could go spend it someplace else. I got that. But you cannot discount who you lost in the process. Luke, take it away. What are your thoughts on Jerry, Dallas, Micah, Green Bay? Lay it out for us.
Yeah, so I will say that I agree with you for sure on him as a player. It's hard to say, like, compare these newer guys to the older guys when there's so many dominant people in that position, like the Watts and the Myles Garrett and stuff. But I'm completely with you. I think he's in a tier of his own, and I've been saying that for years, probably since he was a rookie. I think he's the best defensive end in the league. And that's, again, even when he was on Dallas, everyone wanted to say it was Hutch or Myles Garrett. I'm give me Parsons personally. Like you said, perfectly, just everything mixed together, the strength, the athleticism, the pursuit to be able to, you know, if he's on the left side and you run a stretch to the right, he might make the play.
You
Like
almost got to
that's
run at him. You can't like
right.
run away from him. He's more dangerous if you
Exactly.
run away from him.
Perfectly said. Yep. So yeah, I'm as we stated already, Lions fans. It sucks. It's scary, but um, you know, I think the way that it impacts the division the most, I think the Vikings with a rookie quarterback. I'm not happy with 4 times a year having to play Hutchinson and Micah Parsons. So that's not good for JJ McCarthy to walk into his rookie year. But yeah, Jerry Jones, man, it started off a shit show and it's just been downhill. I mean, you look at Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. It's like every year it's some type of contract
Drama.
BS. Yeah, drama. It's a reality TV show over there, and it seems like Parsons is one of those guys that just doesn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And like you said, the freedom, I think he just wants to play football, and he went to an organization where that's celebrated. And
It really is.
yeah, for sure. I think it's a good combo. You know, I think he fits in really well there too.
Skip Bayless, who is maybe the biggest troll online, says Micah Parsons is not going to be happy because doesn't get to play for an owner now, because the Green Bay Packers are the fans own the Green Bay Packers, the only team in the NFL that's not owned by one person or one entity. I think that favors, to be honest with you. Look at that. I mean, that's Green Bay. That's Lambeau Field right there in the background. Not that Dallas doesn't fill the stage, but this is almost like made for him. It really feels like that, and they're going to embrace him. And I don't even think that Micah's ever been like this ego maniac type of guy. He's generally more quiet. I followed him actually for about a year now on X, and he's just really intelligent, very articulate. Where he comes from is not arrogant. It's not ego driven. It's commonsensical thinking, and it's intriguing, and it's actually refreshing to see. And somebody said yesterday, and I had to jump in, and I ratioed this guy by like 100 to 1. He was talking about money. I hope you're happy now about the money. All I did was say, this has very little to do with money. This was a football decision, I believe, for his future. Money was going to be there. There was a huge offer on the table with Dallas. All right. I don't agree with Micah laying on the trainer's table. I thought that was poor taste. I think he's so burnt from there, and it was his final message that says, basically get me out of here. And then I got to bring this up. Stephen A. Smith, is the dude ever right? Like, legitimately. First of all, you shouldn't be covering anything football. I'll give you a little bit on basketball. You've been around that for 30 years. He comes out and says, if Micah Parsons sits out the first game, he gains leverage. And I comment on that right away. I'm like, bro, he isn't going to be on Dallas in the first game or holding out for leverage. This whole thing, this is negotiation. Michael Irvin. Oh my gosh. Did you hear Michael Irvin? What he said?
No.
Laura Rutledge from ESPN interviews him, and she's got him in on the screen, and he goes, Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
This is no way Jerry Jones is going to allow this to happen. This is negotiation. And not but minutes later, it was, I don't know the exact time, so I don't even want to say it, but it was very shortly thereafter. Micah Parsons has been traded from the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't want to play there anymore, and he made it known. And here's another thing, and again, maybe this is the coach in me, but Jerry Jones hires people he can control and that won't have a voice. Since Jimmy Johnson, look at the coaches. They had an opportunity to get Sean Payton. Sean Payton isn't coming there because Sean Payton knows what the F he's doing, and he's not going to sit there and let you tell him what to do. Jason Garrett, nice guy. Mike McCarthy, nice guy. Kellen Moore, however the reason or whatever the reason they didn't get that job. And now you got Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer's not a world-class coach. He never was even a world-class coordinator. Now Micah gets to go to a world-class organization that, in my opinion, is more famous than the Dallas Cowboys, or you could certainly make an argument. A great coach, great fans. Not that Dallas fans are not great, but LaFleur is one of the best coaches, and Micah Parsons just got better as a player by going there. And any suggestion, everyone can have an opinion, but any suggestion that he's worse or he's playing on grass versus turf, Penn State, what did they play on when he was there? They played on grass. All right.
And
it's not gonna affect him.
Yeah, it just seems like a good fit. It's that Big Ten football, like you said, on grass, outside. Not that, I mean, Dallas is outside sometimes, but it's just not the same. It's not Lambeau Field. You put him in I remember this tweet, or it was a video. I was watching a video. They said, would you rather play on turf or grass? And they were going through the Cowboys asking players what they'd rather play on. And it came to Micah Parsons, and he was like, doesn't matter, turf, grass, concrete. Let's play.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's a freak. And I wish, we didn't have to play him twice a year, but I'm a big fan of him. And
at least minimum twice. It could be more.
Exactly.
So I pulled this clip, and this is just wow. I mean, you see it and you know it, but when you see it in a compilation like this, it's so impressive. Check this out.
From behind, and the ball is out, and the Cowboys recover.
Mahomes under pressure. Parsons knocked it out.
Brady.
35, Brady. Micah Parsons brings them down.
Stafford, more pressure. Parsons, sack, fumble, it's loose.
Standing up and trying to attack. Cousins, here comes Parsons. Parsons got him from behind, and the ball is out, and the Cowboys recover.
Jones on the fake, pressure coming, and he's sacked by Parsons.
He didn't even hit his back.
Lawrence pressure right up the middle, and he is sacked.
There's your boy, Trevor Warren.
Pressure coming. There's Parsons, his first stamp on this game.
The results of the past couple years, and all reports are that it's coming to an end.
And so's this drive.
And they are rolling. 2nd and 9. And the
That's
ball comes
Jalen
out
Hurts.
this time. It was Parsons who forced it, and the Cowboys recover it.
Parsons coming and getting there. To get the play off. Watt pressure in his face. He is sacked again. There is Parsons that time.
So Jerry Jones says, not Frank Clark. Help me out. Who they got for him is skipping my mind.
Dan Clark or something like that.
Yeah, that they're a better team that way. You might be better straight up the middle. Kenny Clark. You might be straight up. Might be better straight up the middle like that. But for crying out loud, you cannot replace that type of productivity with Kenny Clark. And Kenny Clark's about to turn 30, by the way. All right. He's got a couple years left. And yes, he's played at a very high level. And yes, he will help to center that defense. But he's not Micah Parsons. They're different positions, but can't impact the game like that. It's frustrating to hear all the nonsense. So did you want to add something on that, Luke?
No, I was just watching that clip, watching the clips. I'm thinking how that affects the Lions. And we were kind of talking like it is the toughest division in football, I think. And
I don't know if it's toughest or most talented. There's a shit ton of talent.
I think either way, yeah. I think it's both. I mean, the Bears, I think it's the best division in football. And
these guys are going to be going at each other rough every single. I mean, you don't play each other every single week, but 8 of the games. It's crazy. So talking about the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson is obviously our Micah Parsons. There was some talk, and even it crossed my mind. I'm not going to lie. Hey, what about Micah Parsons? I know the salary cap, and I know all the maneuvering you'd have to do and defer money and all this type of thing. What if they paired him type of thing? And, other people are like, don't you understand the salary cap? I'm like, yeah, I understand the salary cap. And I also understand the maneuverability that they have. They are also the second team in the league with the most cap space, second or third, the Lions, that is. And do you think that the Lions should have tried to find a way? Should have tried to go around the roster to renegotiate? Or you think it was be too much, wouldn't allow you to resign your guys, Laporta and other guys coming up, Branch, etc.? What's your thoughts on that?
I think our situation that we're in right now with so many guys like you just named, and the list goes on, even with Gibbs and I think
Laporta and Branch,
yeah,
all
Jameson Williams, all those guys.
Hutch is being finalized right now.
Yeah,
That's your
so
$45 million guy right there. You can't really add a 47 on the other end.
Right, and I think maneuvering, yeah, we could have maybe, but I think like we got to take care of what we have first, and kind of get that settled down before we throw in some. And we're talking about the biggest contract like ever. For you don't want to throw that into the mix. Maybe they can shuffle something around. And what's that?
You have Hutchinson. That the number's going to end up being around 45. So you'd have 45 on one end and 47 on the other end. The closest thing comparable to that is basically Cincinnati with Burrow and Higgins and Chase, $126 million tied up in three guys. It's almost 50% of the cap in three guys. So you eventually have to pay the piper for that. And Green Bay will have to pay the piper for that. And whether it's close to a number 2 or not, it's first round, but close to a number 2, you just gave up the next 2 years of your first round pick. You obviously gave up a good piece with Clark. You gained a great piece with Parsons, but you're going to have to pay the piper here at some point, and you're always one injury away from catastrophe. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I personally, I'm an aggressive guy by nature. I'm a fighter by nature. Really competitive. Love to win at anything. It isn't. I could be riding with a GPS on, and I want to beat the time that it tells me. Right? Like I'm wired that way. So I want the Lions to win right now, but I love that Brad Holmes is what I would consider to be aggressively patient. He's always looking. He's always looking to get better and get the franchise to be better, but he's never going to risk it and put all his chips in the middle for the sake of the right now. They don't play in the, and I talk about this all the time. They do not operate in a window mentality. Hey, we have a window right now to win, and we need to win right now. 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 years. They're in it for the long haul to be in the Super Bowl conversation every year, not for 2 years and 3 years, and then a couple of guys move on, and then you're stuck with nothing, draft capital or crazy contracts. So I love what he's doing, but I love to at least dream in the fantasy of having him on one end and Hutchinson on the other. But anyways, all right. You want to go to the NFL? You want to do the NFL stuff and round back around to college at the end, or you want to do the college now?
It doesn't matter. It's up to you.
All right. Let's go.
Do it either way.
Which NFL coaches must win and which ones are on the hot seat? So I really looked into this yesterday, and for the first time that I can remember in probably 10 years, at least 10 years, when you go across the entire NFL and you look at all the coaching situations, this is the first I can recall that has so few to start the year that you normally you can find 6 or 7 right out the gate that say hot seat, hot seat, hot seat, hot seat.
Yeah.
When you look across the league and you obviously see Dan Campbell, you see O'Connell, you see LaFleur, and you see now Ben Johnson in the NFC North. None of those guys are on any hot seat. You can go to guys like Andy Reid, and there's so many, Mike Vrabel. There's a lot of guys in their first or second year that no one's going to get rid of those guys. So the 3 on the screen that I have there, Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan, and Kevin Stefanski are really, there's maybe one more, but those are the 3 that I see that could be on the hot seat. Shanahan and John Lynch are tied at the hip. If one goes down, the other goes down type of thing. They came in together. I think they would end up leaving together. So I don't even know that will happen. Dude on the left should have never, ever, ever been appointed the head coach, Mike McDaniel. He is a coordinator. He is not a franchise leader. He is not a team leader. He's a coordinator. Stefanski, I don't even know if I could blame him because that's a disaster franchise led by Jimmy Haslam, and Kevin Stefanski doesn't really have too much of a shot because Haslam is a meddler. As I talked to somebody in Cleveland yesterday, and I thought that was the perfect word. I said, what is Jimmy Haslam doing? Why was he even watching Deshaun Watson in his workout the other day? And I understand it's his money, it's his investment. Why don't you have your football people do that? Why do you have to be standing right next to them? Right? Let your people, if you believe in them, if you trust them, let them do their job. And if they don't do it well, then you find somebody that can. But he's over everything. So what will end up happening with Stefanski? It's one of 32 jobs, and you want to take any job you can get, but it would not strike me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all if underneath he might want to go someplace else, because that's just a disaster. The Quinshon Judkins thing, the whole Deshaun Watson thing, the whole Shedeur Sanders thing, Myles Garrett. How many times dude's got smashed his car over 100 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour again, he got stopped. Shedeur twice at 100 miles. It's just, that's all leadership, man. That's all from the top. So of those three, I think Mike McDaniels is getting fired either in season for sure. At the end of the season, they're not going to perform. He's a problem. What's your thoughts, Luke? Anybody I don't have that you think?
Anybody what?
Anybody
that you don't have on there?
That I don't have on there that you think maybe he's going to get the axe?
I think about some.
You think a guy like Andy Reid that this might be it?
No, I don't know. I mean, Andy Reid leaves on his own terms. But
no, I'm not saying that they would get rid of him. I'm saying will a spot come open, and just replacement? Could it be 4 or 5 because of that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this year is going to tell a lot with Andy Reid. I think he's been failing the eye test the last couple of years. To me, he's looked very unhealthy.
You say this with the limp. He's looked unhealthy for years. He's always been a bigger guy.
It's not just the limp. It's like he can't move well. And when you see him walking off the field after the games and stuff, like he looks – just trust me. I don't have a source for it or proof. It's just –
No, I got you. I see what you see, but he's been like that for longer than you think. I think if you went back and looked, he's getting older. He's in his 60s now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's some breaking news or anything, but I think it's gradually getting worse, and we'll see, but when you look at this picture of these three guys, only one of them, I'm not a coach, but to me, only one of them has a hard job. You're the head coach in Miami. You got, they got their top 10 pick. He got to get his guy. They got, Tyreek Hill. He had free reign with that offense to do whatever he wanted. And then you're the head coach of the 49ers, where that's just legacy, 49ers are what we were talking about, like the Packers and Dallas. They're just one of those franchises. And they had probably the best roster in football. And Stefanski has
had. Let me stop you for a second. You say had, yeah.
Has had the last, up and down the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And Stefanski just has a dumpster fire. So I think he doesn't belong in there with those guys, because he's, I think he's – I don't want to make excuses.
You can't blame him? You're saying you can't blame him?
Yeah, you can't blame him. I think it's Shanahan, but for some reason everyone's high on him, like the mainstream media, about being this offensive genius and everything. I'm not impressed. I think he should be on the hot seat, and I haven't done any research on this particular, but these three guys, McDaniels for sure doesn't. He's not a head coach. He's just so you know me, I'm a decisive guy. I put my shit out there. I don't sit on the fence. I'm going to tell you one way or the other. Are you saying that? Are you saying Mike McDaniels is going to be fired in season or at the end of the year? Yes or no? You're going to tell me you're not sure. I would say at the end of the year, and I would say I like the guy. I think he's funny and
He's
quirky or
kooky,
whatever.
man. He's
Yeah,
kooky.
I think it's good for football. Maybe if he's just a
See,
little
now
off
that's
brand.
the younger generation. I'm 53. Luke is 26. Luke thinks that is a good thing for the team. I feel the complete opposite.
Wait.
The absolute opposite. If I understood you correctly.
Well, kind of. I think
You
it's
think
good
that
for a
plays
team.
better? You think that plays better with this modern athlete? Is that what you're saying?
Not as a head coach.
Okay.
I think we have the same views.
You like him.
I do like him, and I think he's he'll get an offensive coordinator job, and then he'll be able to, that quirkiness and everything like that will be a positive thing for the team. But when you're looked to by 53 men to be, and you get your joggers pulled up halfway, yeah,
you wear your pants like that, don't you? Don't you wear like one pant up to your knee, the other pant down? I don't know. This guy, when your head coach comes out bundled up, head to toe, face covered, the real cold game last year, was it Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think it was Buffalo.
Kansas City.
It's like, dude, you already lost. You just proved to your team that you can't handle it. Now, it's cold. I get it. It is freaking freezing, bro. But dude's like an Eskimo. He's all covered up like he's going snow sledding or something. And it's like, that's just a wrong message, in my opinion. I know you got to stay warm, but come on, bro. Brave the elements for 3 hours. Put some heat warmers in your pocket or something and wear your hat and your hood. But dude was like, you couldn't even see his skin.
I mean,
strange cat.
As far as I can remember, like, coordinators are known for having a little quirkiness, especially like defensive coordinators are they got a screw loose, they're not the most sane people. Offensive coordinators are, but head coaches usually pretty much the successful ones. There's an image that
it's a command. You got to have a commanding presence. Yeah. When Dan Campbell walks in the room, he can make you laugh. But when Dan Campbell walks in the room, you're basically standing at attention. And there's a lot of guys like that. And that's what you need. And I think Ben Johnson, there's some issues there, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know if people are going to take him seriously. We'll see about that. When Brian Dable walks into the room, how about Mike Vrabel? When he lit up a reporter the other day. When Mike Vrabel, these are football guys, right? Dan Campbell, Mike Vrabel. When Vrabel walks into the room at 6'5" and 270 or whatever he is, that in and of itself is a presence. But there's just those no-nonsense guys, and you want to get everybody else to pay attention and buy into your message. There's a certain level, and you saw this playing for me. There's a certain level of seriousness that it takes to get people to buy in and get people to respect what you're doing. They might not all agree with it, but you better have that. There's an it there. And if you don't have it, then everybody else is going to start shit. How you like that? I just made that up right now. You have to have that commanding presence, especially at that level. You got all these personalities, all this money, all these egos. There, you got to be in control of the situation. Now, Bill Belichick, you could argue so much success. Maybe he went too far. Brian Dable's been very, he's actually adapted quite a bit now. He was a big yeller, and he's kind of, I don't know if you want to say softening. He's adapting a lot. Some kind of blend. You cannot be a clown show like McDaniel all day long. No one's going to take you seriously. And he came up with McVay, by the way. And McVay can be funny too, but he's a serious guy. He takes what he does very seriously. I'm not a huge Sean McVay guy for a few reasons, but you cannot question his commanding presence, his seriousness, even at when he was 32, a lot like McDaniel, very young when he took over an organization. So yeah, and somebody might surprise us, by the way. Someone starts out at 0-5, 0-6, the whole conversation changes.
Right.
There's guys like Canales, and there's a few guys that could enter it, but I can't recall, man. It's usually 6-7 names easy, and I don't see it now. Pete Carroll's the new coach. He's not on the hot seat. New coach for the Raiders, meaning.
That is one that opens up soon, probably, right? He's getting up there. How long do you think he's going to be there?
74, 3-year deal he signed, and it's a bridge. reset the franchise, get it to respectability, and groom your replacement. That's what I believe.
That,
Although
yeah.
74, you want to talk about Andy Reid looks like he's showing signs. Pete Carroll's like runs around like you do. Dude chews
shows
gum.
no sign.
The dude chews gum harder than and faster than I walk. He's a live wire. It's incredible. I don't know what he eats, but I need to find out because I wake up in the mornings. I want to go back to sleep a lot of times. Pete wakes up in the mornings like, what mountain can I climb today at 73, 74?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. This is an interesting one. The next, the NFL Rookie of the Year winner. Obviously, there's 32 first round picks. It could be somebody in the second or third, I suppose. But a lot of first round guys, guys like Travis Hunter, guys like Cam Ward, Mason Graham, which I was on record for that one too. That's another one that goes into the hit list that I was mocked like you can't believe. But I put 3 guys up there. Travion, Giante, Jackson Dart, Luke. I'm not even going to say anything yet. I'm going to turn this one over to you. Who you think is in that conversation? Who would you lean towards? And we are like, this is way out. This is like, it's predictive, it's speculative, it's projecting. Injuries can happen. All things being equal, who you see? Who you got?
I think someone that's not, on that list is Matthew Golden. I know we're talking about the Packers a lot today, but he looks good, and they are lacking a real threat, I guess. Gene Reed's good. Christian Watson. They're lacking a real.
Watson's hurt again.
Yeah, they need a guy, and he looks good. I think he looks weird in number 22 or whatever he was wearing.
He does.
He looks like a player, man, and I think if the Packers, I don't know, the Parsons trade kind of. I was high on him, and then Parsons trade kind of took that away because now I don't want to. It feels like I'm rooting too much for the Packers, but
no, I think you're just calling it like it is.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he's that's
so
my.
You believe he's a legit Rookie of the Year candidate? That's what you're saying.
I think so. I think if I had to put money on it, or if I had to pick my person, it would be Cam Ward. I think it'll be Cam Ward. I think, but that's not
So you think Matthew Golden's a guy to watch out for in the conversation?
Yeah, absolutely.
But ultimately, you think Cam Ward is the Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
Why? What makes you think Cam Ward can be the Rookie of the Year with what he has over there?
I think keys to the kingdom. I think that's the big thing that he's just. Well, for one, he's somebody that hasn't been talked about at all yet, which is that's a good thing. That's somebody that has just been going to work every day with his people, with his guys, and not really in the media as much as obviously with the whole Browns situation going on. And then like Jackson Dart has been in it with just because, it's New York and with Russell Wilson and everything. But I think Cam Ward comes out and surprises people. If he plays well, people are going to say, whoa, he's, I think his play gets – we're expecting him to be solid, right? I think both of us are expecting him to be a solid quarterback. And I think that gets
I don't think he has the roster, though.
No?
I don't think he has a lot in his favor.
It's been done before. Baker did it in Cleveland. I think a rookie quarterback that comes out – what I'm trying to say is his play gets kind of outshined by the fact that he'll be the only one in this draft class that's like the captain of the team. He's leading the guys. Everyone's following him. He'll probably have a game winner or two. Like he's just that face of the team guy already. And I think that goes a long way with the vote.
It's not technically his rookie year, but I considered his rookie year because he couldn't play because of injury. But he just got the C.
Yeah, but he can't win Rookie of the Year.
True. He could win our Rookie of the Year because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He never played. He didn't even suit up. He hurt himself in training camp.
Yeah, I know. I think he was hurt at Michigan. I think he got hurt before.
Of the knee?
Key. Yeah.
The knee? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think that was a low key
conspiracy theorist over here. I don't know about that. All right, so I think you know where I'm going with this. There's a lot of guys, and I think Travis Hunter I felt he was the best player in the draft. There's so much there, so much talent, so much you could do with the guy, so versatile. He's a true threat, and he I'll go to my grave with this. Without him, there was never a conversation about Shedeur Sanders. And I obviously am on record, 5th-round draft pick, the whole 9, predicted it all, but he wouldn't even be in that conversation of any draft if it wasn't for Travis Hunter. So he's obviously in the conversation. He's not up here. Mason Graham's in the conversation. He's not up here. Tata is going to be a terrific wide receiver. I actually think him and Bryce Young are going to be very good together. But I'm going to go with my guy, Jackson Dart. I understand he's not going to have a full season unless Brian Daboll changes his mind. Brian, or anybody that has access to Brian, if you're listening, do not start Russell Wilson. You cannot benefit at all. I put something out yesterday, the day before. If Russell starts, let's say 6 games. 6 games is usually that magic number. Oh, let's give it 6 games. And that's suddenly going to make Jackson Dart better. It's going to make whoever, Dylan Gabriel behind Flacco, 6 games. Go 1-5, you didn't benefit. You go 2-4, you didn't benefit. You go 3-3, you really didn't benefit. Are you going to go 4-2 or 5-1 as the Giants, 6-0? No, you're definitely not going 6-0. Could something crazy happen? Maybe. Why are you going to bring the guy in without a clean slate? What is it that you have to lose? You got to look at the guy, folks. He doesn't lack anything in confidence. Let's just call it what it is. He is not some breakable guy, no disrespect to like an Eli Manning, but an Eli Manning was this reserved, introverted kind of guy. Jackson Dart's not that guy. And he played under Lane Kiffin and pounded his ass and pounded his ass and pounded his ass. And don't mistake what Jackson Dart has had a chance to be around in camp all the way up until this point. With Russ, the big veteran, with Jameis, the medium veteran, 2 different trails through the NFL. Jameis came in, this arrogant cockiness, totally transformed as a person, had success, had challenges, terrific backup, was a starter. Russell won a Super Bowl. Brian Daboll's been around the block a couple hundred times. Jackson Dart should be your guy week 1. As of right now, he's not going to be, but he's still my rookie of the year because he's going to get in there by week 6 or sooner. And there's a chance it might be sooner. There's a chance Russell Wilson doesn't end up being healthy. He's not a spring chicken, but he's a phenomenal deep ball thrower. And Malik Neighbors and who they have over there, there's a chance it could go full 6 games. When Jackson Dart comes in, he is going to take the world by storm. Yes, this is another PB prediction. He is an instant winner. He has it. He has every single intangible needed to run an organization, a franchise, a team. And there's very few people, in my opinion, very few people, especially starting out, that could come in the New York market for the Giants or the Jets and be that guy. So Justin Fields over with the Jets, Jackson Dart, and Justin's been around a while. Jackson Dart with the Giants, that's the personality. They will embrace him. He will produce, and that roster has ability that play to his talents. Cam Ward, while no player in college last year that I watched more than Cam Ward, legit, terrific talent. He suffers from some of the Shedeur Sanders disease. He thinks he can hold on to the ball for 6 seconds. He did it in college. The guy's draping. He's a big guy. The guy's draping all over his legs and his knees. And he's like, I'm going to stand here and do my best Ben Roethlisberger. How many guys can hang on my body and I got to release the ball? So he's got some adjustments to make. And I don't think the Tennessee roster is as talented as the Giants roster. And I'm going to take Brian Daboll in his offensive genius. And what I believe Jackson Dart to be one of the greatest quarterback talents to come out of the draft in the last 10 years, folks. I said it. He'd be the best NFL rookie quarterback of this draft. I said it with Jaden Daniels. That streak's going to continue. Jackson Dart is my rookie of the year winner.
Yeah, I like that, and with the predictions you've made, you got to ride your horse. But I'm a Jackson Dart fan too. I liked him a lot in college, and he's
how this guy has been so off the radar is just one of those things. like you said, those predictions, when I see something, again, I don't know if it's the coaching, I don't know if it's luck, I don't know what it is. I see certain things and then they come true. And then it's like, oh, Jackson Dart's rising up the charts. Oh, up the draft boards, up the boards. And then, oh, Jackson Dart is impressing in camp. It's like, this is not a surprise. Didn't come as a surprise to me. There's certain people that just have it. So you saw it with Micah Parsons at Penn State. Guess who else? And here's another guy you can put into consideration.
Yeah.
But Abdul Carter, oh my gosh, the lineage of defensive players and linebackers at the Giants, there's a big shoes, right, that he's going to be compared to, but he's a lot in the mold of Micah Parsons, and he's going to be an outstanding player. What a draft for that team. Legit.
Yes.
You might. Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart. The Giants are back on the board, folks. I'm not saying they're going to like be this playoff world beater in a Super Bowl, but if you're a Giants fan, which I wouldn't say that I am, I'm a football fan. If you're a Giants fan, you have so much reason to be excited, and I got to give the Giants ownership credit. I felt that Dable might, maybe let him go, but they kept the stability. They held it. And now you delivered this draft. Now it's just a draft until it produces. It's got to produce Brad Holmes style, right? Not every guy's going to hit. Like Brad Holmes had 5 guys in one draft, all freaking hit at the same time. That's a big, big thing to assume or hope for. But man, they got it. And they got it on both sides of the ball. It's exciting if you're in the Giants. And man, you got your quarterback. You ain't had one in a long time.
I was upset when the Giants drafted him because I liked them a lot, and I hate the Giants more than anybody. And
really, why?
Yeah, I can't stand the Giants. They ruined my. I grew up a big Brady guy, man. He ruined my childhood a little bit. I would cry when the Patriots
David
lost
Tyree ruined your childhood. David Tyree,
the Giants
in the helmet catch.
Yeah. Oh man,
he's going to be better than Eli Manning. I'll put that out there too. Jackson Dart's going to, barring injury, I have to qualify it always by saying that, barring injury, he's a better quarterback than Eli Manning.
Yeah, talent-wise for sure. I'll probably already. We'll just see.
No, I'm saying you got to produce. You got to produce. You got to win. You got to go to the playoffs. You got to get to the Super Bowl. You got to do all those things. I mean, Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl wins. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And they're both over Brady.
All right. So it should be fun to watch. Again, TreVeyon Henderson that you see there, Ohio State guy. I have him equal, if not better, than Giante. It blows my mind. Another guy under the radar can do everything Giante can, but Giante, oh my God, 200 yards a game playing for Boise State. If TreVeyon Henderson played for Boise State, he'd have 200 yards. Most of the level of guys like that could go in and your entire offense focused around one guy and soft ass competition. That's what's going to happen. So should be interesting to watch. All right, Luke, Mr. College guy. Again, for those who aren't familiar with Luke, at a renowned high school in Michigan, Luke was a 2-sport all-state. Once in basketball, once in football. He won a state championship for Warren De La Salle in Michigan. He played against Aiden Hutchinson. I've showed the clips. He played against Sauce Gardner. And then he went on to college for Madonna University and shattered a bunch of records. It was a younger college in terms of football, right? It was a younger football program, not around very long. Am I right on that?
Yeah,
Luke had a chance to kind of get the keys to the kingdom and kind of help build that program, and he did and set a lot of records. So I'm going to let Luke take most of the college stuff without giving away any of his picks or any of the picks that I've shared that are up on the site. But Luke, first week, big games. There's obviously 3 that jump off, really 4, but 3 main is obviously Ohio State and Texas, Notre Dame and Miami, and who's the third game?
LSU,
thank you,
Clemson.
LSU and Clemson. I see a lot of orange there. So
Yeah.
I know you have some thoughts on that. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. This year of college football feels a little bit bigger for some reason, and I was thinking about it last night. Why I haven't been this hyped up for the start of the season in a long time, and part of it has to do with that slate that you just said, those big 3 games. Like, we get to see the best versus the best right off the bat instead of, to Ohio State versus UL Monroe or something like that. So that's nice. That's nice to have. But I'm sitting here looking at it right now, and I wrote down the top teams in the country. So I'm just going to go through them one by one. This is just off the top of my head.
You're talking like top 5, top 10?
I have probably 8 to 10 teams here, but I'm saying why I think this year is has that feeling of like it's big. And I think you look at Penn.
Before you go into that, I got to stop you for 1 second. You text me last night, and I don't know if you can say this or not, but you text me last night. You told me you were at a high school football game. Is that right?
Yeah.
You told me that there were three players. Can you share with the audience? They were commits or being recruited, and to which schools? Can you say it?
I think I should be able to. I'm not. Yeah, why not? We'll just say I went to a high school football game yesterday, and
in Florida.
Yep, and I saw a cornerback that's going to Miami, a running back that's going to Miami, and a wide receiver going to Georgia. So some talent on the field last night for sure.
And you watched the game? It was in Tampa?
Yeah.
In Tampa, Florida? Tampa? Okay.
Yeah, probably 20 minutes outside. But, yeah, so that was cool.
That had to really get your juices flowing for college football.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I brought that up, because that really was on the mind.
Maybe that's another reason right there. But
well, two hometown guys, 2 guys going to Miami. Are they committed?
I think so. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And one to Georgia.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
So, all right, so you're good. So run down this list of teams. So you look at Penn State. They still have Drew Aller. They still have Nick Singleton. They still have that defense. So my point through this is there's not much lost from college football from last year. All the big names from last year, obviously some are gone. But the big ones are still here. So you go to Clemson. They still have Cade Klubnik, probably the best quarterback in the country, if not Drew Aller, who I just mentioned. LSU, Nussmeier, receiving core, pretty much the same, loaded. Ohio State. Again. Ohio State's got the best player in college football again, Jeremiah Smith. And honestly, a top 5 defensive player too. He's back too. Texas. People really they're loaded everywhere, but the big news, even when he didn't play last year, was Arch Manning. And he's back. Obviously.
Let me stop you right there, because this is fascinating to me. And we talked about this last week or the week before. The name obviously is what it is.
Yeah.
Without giving away any result today. So this is a big moment for him. This is his first game where, the team is his. There's no debate. There's no Quinn Ewers. Oh, is he going to come in a package? This is his team. You're going on the road to Ohio State, game 1 of the season. And you're expected to go out there and carry the name on your back, produce for the team, the name on the front. You are Texas. Like, what are your thoughts? Just tell me from a quarterback's perspective. And I know you weren't in that level of shoes, but how does a guy, even prepped as a Manning all these years, how does he go into that environment without that much experience, actual reps, in-game reps? How do you do that?
You gotta. I don't know. That's especially walking into the shoe today. It's just. I think you got to resolve something. That's otherworldly type of pressure. And that's why, just to segue a little bit for a second, I'll come back, that's why I don't so much for Shedeur Sanders is like he's getting all this because of his name. Like there's no pressure for him to live up to, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He didn't have this situation. Like Arch gets a lot because of his name. He gets a lot of hype. He gets, a lot of media focus and everything. But what he's about to walk into is not for the faint of heart. He's he's going into it, man. He's going to war, and I'm excited to see it.
He's not only expected to be the best quarterback in the country, the expectation, I think, that's there is he's supposed to be his uncle's, and his one uncle in particular. Like, most people cannot handle that. There is so much evidence in any sport where it just doesn't pan out. There's so much expectation. Texas is the hotbed of freaking football. Florida is too, but Texas is like it. I mean, I had the chills. Like, what that guy, and he's a introverted guy. He's a very, a lot like his uncles. He's not this, boisterous guy. I just don't even understand. I don't understand.
I think you have to, in that situation, speculation here, you got to resolve something in yourself to tell yourself, it's just you, and you got to be able to, because I have been in situations, like you said, nothing near this, but situations where to me in the time felt probably similar. Like, it felt like the biggest thing on earth. And you got to just get yourself to believe small things like 2 first downs on this first drive. That's all we got to do. Just get 2 first downs. And then
2 or 1? Like, you would go into that and think 2?
If I was Arch, I'd probably think 1, but where I was, I think I always said 2 first downs, because you can get 1 on the first play with your running back and whatever. But just set small goals and kind of they always say block out the noise, which is easier said than done. But we'll see. Some guys have it, some guys don't. So maybe he walks out there and it just doesn't faze him at all. And some guys are like that. And I think that's
both his uncles, and Eli was under a different type of pressure than Peyton, because Eli played in, again, New York versus Indianapolis, and then Denver is not the same. So those were unique, but this is Texas. Like, Tennessee and Ole Miss is where his uncles played. Yes, those are football hotbeds. I get it. This is fucking Texas. Excuse me. This is Texas.
Yeah. And another thing,
he's just expected to just hit the ground running. What if he throws a pick? What if he fumbles the snap? Like Haynes King last night, it's 2 turnovers in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Cade Klubnik is largely regarded as the #1 quarterback prospect in all of college football, a pro prospect. And he's going to go and he's going to play LSU. It's a different type of pressure for him versus Arch. Would you agree?
I agree. And I'll add something to what you were just saying is, compared to his uncles and stuff, the social media era is brutal. If he goes out there and throws a pick or a fumble, he's getting torn to pieces on social media. And for some reason, I know we're kind of, doing this, we're talking sports right now, but the big shows, like, lately I've noticed they've been kind of just following the trends of what everybody's talking about online, and it seems very unauthentic. So I'm thinking, if he has a bad game and Twitter goes crazy or X goes crazy about how Arch sucks and there's all these memes and stuff, there's going to be a good amount of analysts or whatever saying, the moment was too big for him. Maybe he's not who, that's just tough to see. And I did see an Arch Manning interview. He was like, he said his screen time's 8 hours a day. So that dude is just sitting there scrolling on his phone.
So you think he's using it for motivation? Did he talk to that? Did he speak to that?
No, I don't think he didn't say anything about motivation. He was just saying, like, how do you prepare, or how are you preparing for, he's like, just kind of, I think he's not scrolling through football stuff or stuff about him. He's probably totally on a different side or algorithm of, like, social media, just all funny stuff or something.
Got you.
That's what I would assume.
You touched on it a few weeks ago, and I didn't even push, but I'd like, if you're willing to share it. You said you had some challenges at your level with the social media and things that were being said about you. Didn't you mention something about that a few weeks back? Can you share with the audience at your level what that was and what it was about? And folks, just to give you, and Luke can speak to this. Okay, so I coached in it and he played in it. Where he played for high school is a major high school in Michigan. They're in the state championship conversation every single year. Many greats: John Vitale from Michigan, Alan Jefferson from Michigan, Mark Mesner. A lot of guys, not Mark Mesner. Mark Mesner was Catholic Central, but a lot of guys went through that program, and Luke was one of them. Is you're talking about they play Catholic Central, they play Brother Rice. Anybody who follows football at the high school level, John Fracassa for so many years, so many great players. Luke, with the pressure that you had, what were you hearing daily or weekly? What was it related to? Was it your performance? Was it the opposing schools? And this is Catholic League, folks, by the way. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Catholic League, if you're thinking good Catholic boys, think again. It's the most brutal kids, man. But weekly it was from the other team's student section, sending me pictures and DMing me stuff, DMing my girlfriend, like like just sending crazy stuff to my girlfriend on Instagram and Twitter and whatever.
Was it profane stuff? Was it like X-rated stuff?
Yeah,
like your girlfriend and that? Can you speak to?
I mean, some of it. I think a lot of it, like people would just do it and say like hey or whatever, and not be. But when they made fake accounts, when it was like a burner account or whatever, those were ruthless. They said crazy stuff, and you don't know who that
language,
is.
And it was insulting you as a human being. It was insulting your girlfriend, and I'm going to do this to you, and this to you, and you're a piece of you know what, and you were hearing all that type of stuff.
Yep, and in high school.
Yeah, were you blocking them? Did you just block them as bot accounts and try to shut it down? How'd you handle that?
So what I did with that was I got her like login, and I would just try to get to it before she couldn't delete it. And there was no because she would get all worried about it or whatever. And the worst, I would say, I think what I talked about a couple weeks ago was after we lost our first game, our opener, I was like phone calls day and night. I think people would set an alarm to call me in the middle of the night. And after a while, I stopped answering. It was only like probably 3 days before I stopped answering. But I would answer, and they would just yell the score that we just lost by, and like, just you suck and stuff like that, and hang up.
And you believe this was? Do you believe this was supporters of De La Salle or opponents? Like we beat you, or you didn't beat us, or whatever.
I'm not sure. Maybe both. I think the calling saying the score would probably be. I don't know. I don't know.
And you won
somewhere.
It would be saying
no. That was after a loss.
Okay. Well, you guys didn't lose much the state championship year, right? What was your overall record?
12-2.
Okay.
But we lost the home opener, first game of the year, and that was brutal. That sucked.
And who was that against?
Lowell. It's a West Side school. They're good. They're one of those schools.
Didn't they produce a couple of NFL guys?
I'd have to look, but they're one of those schools that if for the people watching, it's like they have a team in like third grade with all the same kids, and then they play together in fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and that fifth grade, sixth grade team has the same offensive playbook as the varsity team. Like it's like a cult over there. So when they come in, they're a bad team to play week one. I'll say that because you can't make mistakes. They're not making any mistakes. They're flawless.
So that's your version of a Texas versus Ohio State, would you say?
Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Well, I'll say that's something that nobody's even talking about, that I haven't seen at least about this game tonight or in an hour, is everyone's just expecting really good football, and I think it's going to be a lot more sloppy than people are expecting. Like, these guys haven't played. It's two quarterbacks pretty much first start. There's filling some holes on the field, and the fans are crazy, and like it's not going to be
the expectation, that the coverage, the Manning situation. new quarterback replacing Will Howard, the national championship hangover. There's so much stuff to it that I always had to prepare for as a coach, and certain things that I would always take into consideration ahead of time to try to negate some of that stuff. But there's things in this game that you can't negate. You got to go through it. You've got to play it in order to get through it. And it's really interesting too. We talked about this a little bit last night or this morning, 12 o'clock game. So you're basically the first game. You are the first game. I mean, there's other 12 o'clock games, but this is not 3:30. This is not 8 o'clock or 8:30. This is you're starting out the full rollout. So there's just so much to this. It's crazy. So that first game that you played, do you recall the score against Lowell?
Yeah, roughly it was like 30-14 or something.
All right, so they beat you by a couple scores, so they were all over you. We kicked your ass type of thing, right? Okay.
Yep. I threw 2 interceptions.
How many interceptions you throw in the year?
I think like 8.
So 25% of it was in the first game. Yeah. So
I got told that I was starting like the day before the game was a Saturday. It was like a prep kickoff classic or whatever. But Thursday at team dinner, I got told I was starting. I didn't even know.
Wow.
So I was just kind of going about whatever, hanging out with my friends at football. I took it serious, but the kid that was behind me was one of those guys that would take the first team reps. Like when they said, like let's run this drill or whatever, he would sprint to go first, and I'm not like that. I'm like,
and that was Giannoni, right?
Yeah. So
Giannoni, folks, is John, right? Is it John Giannoni?
Mike.
What's his? Mike Giannoni. He's a legendary high school football coach in Michigan. Why did you just find out about it on Thursday? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think because he told me later that he made up his mind at the beginning of summer, and he just didn't tell me.
Wanted to keep you on the hook and keep you fighting. I mean,
yeah,
as
pretty
a coach,
much. I guess
I could think of just off the top here.
Well, what he said was at the beginning of summer we had a 4-way scrimmage, and we were playing 4 pretty good teams in the area. It was like Rochester, Adams, Dakota, some big schools, and us, and we're playing this 4-way scrimmage, and I was bitching because I had this red jersey on, and I didn't know, it was early. There's a pass plays. I wasn't really familiar with everything yet. And I was like, I'm going to look so dumb. Like, let me go without the red because that's all I can really do right now. Like, I haven't been hit in 2 years, but I know if I drop back, I don't know where everyone's going. So I took the red jersey off, put on like number 45, whatever was left, and played quarterback and was running people over and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, that's when I made up my mind when you took the red jersey off, because quarterbacks really rely on that red jersey a lot. And then we went the whole summer, and he kind of didn't tell me,
That's a risky move. Talking from a coach's perspective, especially with a quarterback, 2 days before the first game against the team that played their whole lives together, basically, like you laid that out. That's interesting. So take that from an Arch Manning perspective. That team played their whole lives together, and Arch Manning has grown up in a legendary, maybe the number one legendary, probably, I don't think there's too much debate on that, most legendary family name in the history of football. And now he's going to go out there and do it for Texas, which, if you ask me, is more of a renowned program than Tennessee Volunteers and more than the Ole Miss running Rebs. So, man.
I agree. And so that's actually a good point when you compare the two, because first play of the game, I go out there. I'm nervous. Wayne State was sold out. It was the prep kickoff classic. So it was like 3 games back to back of just bangers, top teams in the state. And like I said, I haven't played in 2 years. I'm out there,
Were you the third of that game?
We were the prime game. Yep.
Okay.
We were the prime game. I think
they were the lights type of thing.
Yep. They were like number 4 in the state, and we were low, but we had they were saying we had the best defense in the state. We were supposed to have number one defense, so we got a decent rank, like 15 or something. But our defense was sick. But first play of the game, Giannone says, "Are you nervous?" Like, I'm looking around, on the sideline. I was like, honestly, yeah. Like, yeah, I am. And he was like, all right, good. He said, I think it was 47, like, naked boot. First play of the game, like, just no lead blocking, nobody, just go get hit, pretty much. So basically just sprint out like a handoff, fake it, and boot out by myself with no pass to throw, nothing. Just put myself on an island pretty much. And I ran for like 8 yards. I got hit. I got popped pretty good, but it was good.
How many
I
yards?
went over probably like 5, 6, 7 yards. I said 8, but it was it's not a good play. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
What do you think Arch Manning's first play call is today? Handoff?
Something. Maybe, I don't know. But
what if he comes out and lets him throw deep? I could actually see that. You want to talk about getting rid of the nerve bugs? That might do it.
I don't know. It's kind of like shooting a free throw. You know how I was saying that you're off a little bit? If they let him go out there and rip it, he might throw it 90 yards. Like when the receiver's 40 yards down the field. You don't know. You got to get acclimated.
All right, so we got way off track there, but I thought it was an interesting story by comparison, and I don't know about a quarterback that's come in with more high expectation. There's a lot of guys that come in with expectation, but this is just a different breed all to itself. All right, keep going, Luke. I'm sorry. As far as the rest of the college there.
Yeah, so I think I left off Ohio State's got the best player in the country coming back, like returning. Best defensive and offensive player, arguably. Texas, we just talked about. Notre Dame, they have their best wide receiver.
Best coach in the country, Marcus Freeman.
I like him. But their best player's back. Jeremiah Love, running back, stud. And their best wide receiver is back.
And he's under the radar, too.
Yes. South Carolina, even. You go that far. Lenora Sellers, their court. Like, I feel like all these teams have their best back. Everyone's back. Like, even Ohio State.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ohio State where it's a new quarterback, and Cam Ward's gone. I mean, you have those guys, too.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's
Jalen Milroe's gone, and now they got Ty Simpson playing for Bama, which is more of the Kalen DeBoer system. And he's got his O coordinator from Washington, Grubbs, back after his short stint in Seattle. So there's some changing in there too.
There's definitely change. There's definitely some moving around. Like you look at Oklahoma's got a Heisman candidate quarterback that wasn't there last year, but he's from Washington State. He's a stud. But it's just loaded throughout. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember this much talent and star power coming back to college football. Like if you look at who is the best, if you listed the best 5 wide receivers in college football last year, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams would be 1 and 2 probably. They're back. Like everyone is here. The dude from South Carolina, his name's Nick Harbor, was up there. He's back. Like all these, the top of the top, the cream of the crop is back in college football. And
there's plenty of talent. So who's your top 5 teams? You got a top 5 rank?
Yeah. I have Penn State winning the national championship. I think they're the best team in the country.
Everybody heard that? He's not like a super decisive guy, and he just said Penn State's going to win the national championship. He ain't hanging on no fence. Maybe this, if that, if Singleton this. Nope. He just said Penn State, Nittany Lions, and James Franklin. Maybe no coach has taken more heat than that dude. And do you want to talk about a guy who maybe adjusted some? He might have adjusted some. And those guys are playing for him. Did you see them pick him up and throw him in the water? When you see something like that, it's a tight-knit group. Otherwise, you'd never do that. That's interesting. I don't see that, but We're going to hold you to that. We're writing it down. I'm going to cut
Hold
this.
me to it.
I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to hold you to it. So Penn State's going to
Penn
win.
State, I'm not a fan, but
top 5. Like to
Nittany
start
Lions.
the year for you.
Penn
You don't have
State.
this written down? You're going to like make this up right now?
No, I have it in my head. I've thought about it a lot. So it goes
All right,
Penn
let's
State.
hear it.
I got Clemson,
2.
Texas.
Is this in order?
That's why I said, because
Penn
I
State
know
1, Clemson 2. Who's
Texas,
3?
Texas, Ohio State. It's like not really in order, I guess, but yeah.
No, give it to me in order.
Okay. Penn State, Texas.
Here he goes again. He's on the fence.
Penn State, Texas.
Yeah.
Clemson, Ohio State.
And who's 5? Who closes out the top 5?
I'll say LSU.
Brian Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hopes you're right. I could tell you that. He hopes they finish something is going to break some more tables. We'll see.
I like Nussmeier, and those receivers are loaded again. And
man, that's like wide receiver now.
It is. It is.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch. Going to be interesting to see. All right, so we're gonna round this out with this right here. I just think that this is pretty freaking crazy. Dave Portnoy, let me just say this. I got a lot of respect for what Dave Portnoy has done with Barstool, with his overall business, millions of followers and the branding that he's done. And he's this outlandish guy and outspoken, and he says crazy stuff and he does crazy stuff, and the whole pizza ratings and all of that, put him on the map. And he's this global figure now, and you'll find him on Fox. And when I say Fox, I'm talking about like Fox News. And he'll get his thoughts on business and stocks and all sorts of things. What he's done is nothing short of sensational in terms of popularity and what he's built. He's a millionaire over and over and over. I think he's worth a couple $100 million now. So a lot of respect for that. You could argue and debate in the way and manner in which he's done it. A lot of people question that, very raunchy in a lot of different ways. And so Pat McAfee there on the screen, people think he's employed by ESPN. He's not. He owns his own show, and ESPN contracts him for the rights to be on his show. And then he became part of the pregame show for ESPN. And I think he helped build that. Lee Corso, today's his last day. He's going away. Desmond Howard just resigned. Obviously, they brought Nick Saban in. He's expected to go back to coaching. And they've really done some amazing things. It's been the show for a long time, and they added it to him. And, yeah, you saw Saban. I love watching that clip where, McAfee's doing this, getting ready.
Yeah,
and
getting ready to go.
He's going, like, who is this clown? Saban's all in a suit, and you got him acting that kind of way. And I think that's what ESPN wanted. And now Fox, Big Noon Kickoff, which is lagging way behind what ESPN has done with Lee Corso and Howard and Fowler for so many years, and Reese Davis and so many guys. It's just a terrific show. And now Fox is going to try to follow that up with Portnoy, but Ohio State banned him, but then they didn't ban him, but it isn't. Then they came out. Anyways, he ain't allowed in Ohio State's horseshoe. His team is there. They're broadcasting or podcasting live from there, and he's in town, but he can't be there. Luke, you're familiar with McAfee and his shtick, right? And you're maybe a little bit less familiar with Portnoy, but you understand what they're trying to do. Do you think? So McAfee's crazy. Everybody knows he's crazy, but he was an NFL guy. You could say he was a punter. All right, maybe he should have played quarterback. Dude had so many nice fake punts, and always had the guns when he was being a punter. And
he's the coolest punter ever.
Right. So you had some history there, and some people knowing him from a football standpoint. And generally punters don't come in and become like breakdown sports, but he did it, and he's done extraordinarily well. Whereas Portnoy is this off the beaten path guy, and just this raunchiness. He came on stage and he flips the bird I'm a big Michigan guy, graduated from Michigan in 99. What's going to happen here? Is this guy going to make a total ass of himself and make this thing like implode?
I tend to like Dave for some of his things that he does at Barstool.
25, 26-year-old loves Dave Portnoy. Newsflash.
I tend to. I'm not going to get into it, but when Michigan played Michigan State and Kenneth Walker beat us, it was the game of the week, and he had his thing there. And my company that I was working at set up the tent and stuff, so we were like backstage, and it was super, super cool. And
did you meet him?
No, met his people though. He's too big for his britches, but he did his whole big entrance, so he wasn't there. But I like what he does, but you're right. It is off the beaten path, and that's what it's always felt like. I think that's why people gravitated towards him, because it was like for so long we got our sports media from ESPN and stuff, and then his was a little bit off the path, and he could say some crazy stuff or whatnot, and that literally the name Barstool, like they talk about stuff that you talk about when you're sitting on a bar stool with your buddies, and that's not really, it's not as formal. So I think him trying to make the shift to being formal, I think he does maybe make an ass out of himself there. Like that's not his brand. So I don't know. Hopefully he does good. He's a Michigan guy. Ohio State's soft for banning him. That's so soft, and it is what it is. I think he'll do good. He's done good at pretty much everything.
I don't think he could be him. I don't think he can be himself on a Fox network like that. He can't be his raunchy self, his cussing self, his insulting people self. That's what put him on the map. That's a dude having like 6 beers on a bar stool at a bar, talking sports with their buddies, and they don't care what they say or who hears it. And if you like it, fine. If you don't like it, F you. That's what he's done. That's what he's built. And millions has followed. And he had a deal with ESPN, and it ended badly with Penn Gaming partnered with that, and he ended up freaking just making out a mint on the deal, but it didn't work, and he went back and did his bar stool, but now he's doing it again, and I don't see it. I don't see it working. He cannot be him. That path that he carved, that he has that niche on lock, he can't do it.
Yeah, so kind of like a little bit of a troll, and like
a lot of a troll, a lot, and he will find the story, and the way he talks, and it's and Travis Kelce and the Swifties, and he came in, and it's just, I want to say this about Taylor Swift, he'll go find, people talk about what's trending. I'll be honest, when I'm about to make a video or a graphic, I'm looking at what's trending nationally, what's trending in sports. It factors in. So it could be Taylor Swift. It could be the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. It could be something football, Ohio State, Michigan, Pat McAfee. He'll talk about anything. But he's going on Fox, and if they think he can talk about anything in the same manner in which he did, he can. McAfee's just a nut. He's a nut, but he's been cleaner with it. He's been on that get right up to that edge, but don't go over it. Portnoy goes over it, and then he takes everybody with him. I don't see it working.
I feel like there's kind of a Portnoy more kind of attracts a fan that like has never touched a football before, but they're really into the betting part of it.
Maybe they eat a lot of freaking pizza.
Yeah, and then he polarizes them, and McAfee is definitely more geared towards athletes, and like
for sure
he also has that like frat boy vibe, you could say. But
yes.
He definitely brings that.
But it's geared to
energy.
athlete.
Yes, that's the energy that's the locker room energy that we love.
You said you stopped at the bar last night after the high school football game. You're Portnoy's path. You're who he wants. That's what he built the brand. No, that's what they built the brand on. It is.
Yeah, for sure. I like them both, but I lean more towards. I watched McAfee yesterday. Like Portnoy, I'll go to for entertainment purposes and like something funny. McAfee, I'll go to for actual football stuff. Like,
no, I got you. But Portnoy wants your attention in your age. Your age bracket, your demographic, that's who he's looking for. McAfee wanted you too, but he wants guys like me watching too. Portnoy doesn't necessarily want 50-year-old guys watching his stuff, 60-year-old guys. That's not really his audience. You are who he's trying to get. So it's just, you love pizza, right? Like, who doesn't love pizza?
Yeah. I think everyone likes my age. I'm saying everyone, I think, would say they like both these guys. They're both, but Dave is like tolerable for us in a way that he's not like he's not all over anywhere in my face or anything like that. Like when I see him, I'm like, oh, what Dave say, whatever. And then he's not like too much, so I don't know. It's fine.
He's tolerable for me in small bites.
Yeah, right.
Small bites. I can't take the big bites. I'm not even a McAfee guy either, if I'm being totally honest.
Really?
It's just not. Yeah, it's just not my shtick. I'll be honest. I never watched one of his shows ever. That's a true story. I mean, that's about as true as me never having a Big Mac in my life, which people can't believe. Never had a Big Mac in my life. I've never watched McAfee's show. I seen a clip, like a minute clip or something like that, but I've never. I don't have any desire. It just goes a little bit. That's why I have red lines around the graphic here, because it's just a red line that for me, it just gets to a level of seriousness. I mean, you don't have to be all buttoned up like Nick Saban is, Desmond Howard's the perfect blend, if you ask me. Desmond will laugh. He will joke. He's got that funny laugh, but he's going to break it down, and he's going to give you some real stuff. And the Reese Davises of the world, they could do that. Fowler, Herb Street's another guy who I think is terrific. He could be funny with his dog, and his dog is there with Corso today. But it's just real and it's authentic. But hey, to each their own. Everybody's got a style.
Yeah, I will say, just in McAfee's defense, because I do love the guy, but he's like the game days and stuff that you see, he's like a child. He gets like overstimulated and fired up.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever grown into a man's.
But when you watch his show,
the
full show, he's more chill and he's concise and like he gets the point across, and it's cool, man. I like it, but
brilliant for him too, and what he's created and what he's done. It was different. It's just different, and it hit. It's just like I say, it's his own show. He's in control. ESPN don't tell him shit. If ESPN doesn't like it, then he'll get it from somebody else. And I respect that. As an entrepreneur, I think that's just brilliant. Look at him right there. He's sitting at the table. He's got freaking poker chips in front of him. And he's got dice in the back and a golf ball and a foam finger. Like his stuff is loaded. So I do
definitely a huge cowboy belt.
What's that? Yes.
Definitely a huge belt buckle on. But he is going to be kind of, I mean, I guess I'd like to ask you this. Once Corso's gone with the helmet, that was the crowd pop was the helmet or the, mascot thing.
Yep.
Now it's probably, I mean, what do you got? It's McAfee doing the chants with the crowd, getting everybody standing up, getting everybody hype. He's like the new.
You're going to ask me, is he going to do the mascot thing?
No, I don't think he's going to do it with the heads. I think that's you can't do that. That's all Corso. But I think it's kind of his thing to take over now, right? The whole be in charge of that crowd pop, that big moment. That's
sure.
His.
And again, he's a guy who could play. Lee Corso. Yeah, let me decide who I'm going to pick and get you guys all going. McAfee will do that from the moment he does that. From the moment he steps on the grounds and gets them rowdy. And again, he relates to them. Maybe not as much as Portnoy,
that's
but
true.
That's the age.
No,
Corso
honestly,
was always an older guy.
Honestly, I will say, if you been to college to campus on game day, the way that McAfee starts chanting with the crowd, those fans have been doing it at their houses since 6 a.m. And when they get there and hear McAfee doing it, it's like you're right. He relates with college big time. I was thinking straight NFL for him for some reason, but.
No, that was a smart move in ESPN for a clown network. They get some right. Sometimes just re-signing Desmond was a great move. Tim Legler replacing Doris Burke, and no disrespect to Doris Burke for carving out her own path. It didn't work. I don't even think Richard Jefferson's the right guy on that. Mike Breen, Jefferson, and Legler now. Huge upgrade. Tim Legler is one of the most underrated guys. And maybe he was just, did what he did, and maybe that's the way he wanted. But this was a great, great guy to get in that mix. So it'd be interesting to see how this all plays out. Big day today. Let me take you guys back to this. You can get our picks, pbsportstalk.cappertech.com. There are 3 up there right now, including the big one that goes off at noon between Ohio State and Texas. 1 day past 39, 7 day 75, 14 day 125, 30 day 2 1/4, 60 day 395. Last year 17 in a row. Then hit a moment for a week that didn't win consecutively. Then bam, ripped off another 15 in a row. The only outlet in the world, I can honestly say that, never thought I'd be number 1 in the world in anything. We were the ones who picked Shedeur Sanders to be a 5th-round draft pick. I said he would be a clipboard holder. He is now a clipboard holder. I also said he will be out of the NFL within 3 years from the first game. His brother just came out and did an announcement yesterday on a video talking about it might be the end for him. I'm not saying it yet, but it might be the end for me. I have other interests in my career. His father also came a week ago or so and said, if it's not football, it'll be something. Plans are already made. Shedeur will be behind Shiloh here very, very soon. He will be out of the NFL. He is not going to take number 3 quarterback for Cleveland, and nobody else wants him. We called Jaden Daniels. We called Bo Nix. We called Malik Neighbors. We called Jackson Dart, and this is still fresh. Jackson Dart to be the best quarterback rookie of the 25 class. We said Jaden Daniels was number 1 of the 24 class, followed by J.J. McCarthy. That's still to be determined. Travion Henderson to be equal or better than Ashton Giante. Tata to be the best wide receiver of the class. So many more than that. So what do you want to say? It's a predictive outcomes on game results or player results or draft picks. We have a knack for it. We invite you to join that on the screen right there. I've been there. I know what it feels like. 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9:30 in college on Saturdays and pros on Sundays. I don't really play much at all. So no emotion involved. I'm here to do it for you guys. I'll be watching my phone all day. I'll be watching the TV all day. Did I give them winners? How did I do? I open my big mouth. I want to give you guys things that I see from a former coach's perspective. I just see certain things, folks. I'm just giving to you real. That's what you're going to get with me. You're going to get real. You're going to get authentic. I F it up. I'm going to tell you I effed it up. It's all transparent too, by the way. On Capper Tech, I can't even go in and change my pick if I wanted right now. It's up there. It's there. I can't touch it. The site is very strict. It's going to show the pick. If you didn't pick it and you want to see it, it's going to show if you log on as a free member. It will show you 30 minutes after it starts who the pick was. And then it shows the wins and it shows the losses. When you go up there, right now, if you go up there to pbsportstalk.cappertech.com, I experimented with it last year. It will show the record from last year. There are probably 250, maybe 350 selections I did not put up there. We are big prop players. The props are very difficult to put up there. And the lines are in there. You can pick. I can pick what team I want to win, favorite or underdog. The total, under or over, and parlay is very easy to do. But when you put props in there, it takes a lot of time to do it and add in what you need to add in, a lot of buttons to press and such. So there's hundreds, literally hundreds that aren't up there for the record. The record was much better. 15 in a row and 17 in a row are documented. Follow us on X. That is the number 1 place you will hear my opinion, Luke's opinion, on X at PB Sports Talks with an S. That's the first social site that gets everything. Our patreon.com/PB Sports gets a lot of stuff. The Capper Tech will have picks up there. We gave you Georgia Tech last night for free. They covered over Colorado in the new era without Shedeur and Travis. I feel really strong about what we're doing today. Obviously, I wouldn't put it out there if I didn't. You paying something, paying me something, paying us something for picks. We take that very, very, very seriously. So pbsportstalk.cappertech.com. Get your membership today. Follow along. Follow on pbsportstalks.com. We're getting up there on followers. We're over 1,000 now. We want to get into 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50,000. We invite you to join what we're doing. We feel it's special. We've got a unique perspective. Former NFL pro quarterback, soon to join us. Confirmed that with him last night. We'll let that information loose. And another famous broadcaster, a current famous, very famous broadcaster, that's in the works. Hope to be able to announce that soon. A little bit difficult scheduling wise. He does a lot of travel for college football, but a very well-known name, a Hall of Famer in certain states, and will be a national Hall of Fame broadcaster. So excited about that. Can't give away either. We're working on others as well. A lot of this has been in the works. A lot of years I thought about this. It's finally happening, and we're excited to share that with you. And Luke, being, half of my age, younger, more modern perspective, former 2-time All-State football and basketball player, played for me in basketball. We're excited to keep bringing this to you. Luke, any closing thoughts as we hit the first week of college football here? First real week of college football?
As a Michigan and Oklahoma fan, I hope both Texas and Ohio State lose this game in 20 minutes. I'm not rooting for anybody.
You hope Texas and Ohio State lose? That would be interesting, right?
Yeah. If it was possible, that's what I would root for. But we'll see. I just hope for a
Michigan's
good game.
got New Mexico today. That ought to be a close one. We'll see what Underwood does.
You know what's crazy is my two rivals, Texas, Texas, Ohio State played today. Next week, Michigan plays Oklahoma.
I didn't even know that. Oh, my God. You're going to be in rare form.
I know. I don't even – yeah. Let's
leave
that out
that?
of the show.
Oh, thank you for reminding me on that. I got to do some prep work for this. Get you to lead off the show, get you to wear you got to pick a helmet. Which helmet you going to wear? Half and half?
I don't know. I have both. Not full, but they will go on top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Everybody have a great weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. Let's remember what it is and what it's for. A very special weekend. Spend your time with your family, with your friends. Be safe. Have fun. I say it every week. I'll say it again. Hug someone, hold someone, love someone. Life is short. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy football today and tomorrow. NFL next week. We can't wait. Thursday night. Get on pbsportstalk.caprotect.com. Luke, I'll be in touch throughout the day. We'll be going back and forth, I'm sure. Have a great weekend, buddy. We'll talk to everybody soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.